It's time for Daring Abroad again, and we always enjoy your company. Now, there are still travel restrictions in many parts of the world because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But we are doing our best to continue bringing you inspiring stories from the locations we can reach. And hopefully, as borders continue to open, we will travel to more locations in order to enrich the show. Today, this is what we've prepared for you. His mastery of Kenyan languages is amazing. In Dubai, Maria Thuku shares her global journey in marketing. On Kenya to the World, we feature Karunguru coffee.
Markets that we can sell to are China, the US.
On My Magical Kenya, we conclude our 3-part series on Turkana's attractions. Let's kick off with Maria Thuku's story in Dubai. From making and selling coffee to heading operations at one of the world's largest distributor of raw honey. Our reporter Michael Zimanji interacted with Thuku at her workplace and filed the following report.
Growth, adventure, reinvention, and success. This is what Dubai represents to the hundreds of immigrants who dare to relocate here each year. And for one Maria Thuku, this is no different. Thuku has lived in Dubai for 11 years now. She is the operations and training manager at Balkis Honey, a company specializing in the packaging and distribution of raw honey.
Basically, my job is to train new staff and old staff on product knowledge, customer service, and selling skills. We normally get honeys from different types or different countries. We have from New Zealand, Australia, Bulgaria, Chile. Initially, when I started, we had 25 staff and they were all male. So it was a bit difficult, to come in because I'd come from a company where policies and procedures had to be followed. There was a system. So when I first came in, the system was not as strong in this company. So, trying to involve them or trying to involve the staff to be able to, learn what are the best policies and procedures that they need to follow was a bit difficult. The fact that, number one, I'm a lady and you have to work with different nationalities.
And speaking of overcoming barriers in foreign lands, how did Thuku find herself in Dubai?
It all began, I think, in the year 2009 when I felt that my life was stagnant and I didn't want to be mediocre. I wanted to change my life. I knew that there's something better out there. And that is when I made the ultimate decision to come to UAE. So when I came here and the living condition was like a boarding school, that was the most challenging part. In fact, that is what motivated me to keep going every day out to tarmac. Tarmacking here is not like Kenya, where you know somebody who knows somebody. Here you have to do the actual tarmacking.
So when did you finally catch your big break?
That was 3 weeks after landing. I got an interview with one of the big retail industries. And when they called me for an interview, the job that they were offering is something that I've never done back home. It was actually a barista. So they asked me a couple of questions, and funnily enough, most of the questions I answered no. So when they called me to go and sign my offer letter, I was wondering why they called me. Because some of the questions were like, okay, do you know a latte? I'm like, no. Have you seen Starbucks? No. All right, have you worked in sales? No. From there, I worked for about probably 5 years. And there's a place you reach in your life when you can't grow any further. You feel like you're hitting the wall. That is when I decided to resign, go back home. And I took a break for like 2 months. Yeah, and then I came back again.
Fast forward to present day, and the decision to dare abroad has clearly paid off for Thuku.
When I came in here, remember I told you that I only had 25 staff, and now I have 90 staff, who all I have recruited and trained and mentored. Currently, we have 43 locations in terms of point of sale. So ensuring that policies and procedures are maintained and implementing them as well, disciplinary processes, and making sure just the flow of their daily tasks is happening.
So, from a barista to an operations manager, Thuku's story is definitely one for the record books. But is there any secret to her success?
Dubai has a lot of opportunities. It depends when you land here with the people that you sync yourself with. Try to look for people who have the same vision as you, and you will go places.
Dare to dream, dare to do, dare to dominate, and that's daring abroad.
Thank you, Michael, for that interesting dispatch from Dubai. Time now for Kenya to the world. And today we feature Karunguru Coffee that exports black coffee among other varieties.
How is it? Refreshing. Thank you. Now, every morning I start my day by enjoying a cup of freshly brewed Kenyan-grown coffee. And what's unique about this particular cup is that thousands more are enjoying this brew all across the globe. And here is how.
This is Karunguru Coffee. Located in Kiambu County, the farm sits on 243 acres of real estate.
So, Michael, welcome to Karunguru Estate. So, this is where coffee starts.
Gitao Karanja is a third-generation coffee farmer and the operations manager. But today, he's my designated tour guide.
Now, this is where the work is now. These have been growing for now almost 3 months. Then once a seedling has grown for about a month, we now do the transplant, especially when you get these two leaves popping out like that, these two big ones, okay? The real coffee is these two. So once it has grown, we now transplant. So here we have about 50,000 seedlings.
This time,
Yes,
right now.
50,000 seedlings.
50,000.
And more, as you can see over there on the sandbed.
Big operation.
It's a big operation.
So now we're
headed towards the coffee fields.
As we walk through the farm, I can't help but marvel at the vastness of the estate.
Karunguru Coffee is a family-based organization. It started off all the way from 1928 by the original white settlers, all the way to my grandfather when we came in 1972 to 1974. And we've been farming coffee as a family.
For one to be able to export coffee, one would require a pulping station license, grower marketer license, coffee dealer's license, and register as an exporter with the Kenya Plant Health Inspectorate Service, commonly known as KEFIS. If exporting through the port of Mombasa, exporters need to obtain an additional phytosanitary certificate and an International Coffee Organization certificate issued by KEFIS and Kenya National TradeNet System, respectively. Despite the numerous registration requirements, quality control is key.
Here, as in Kenya, we produce 3 types, okay? We have SL28, we have Roiro 11, and Batian. We produce what we now call a single origin coffee. I do not blend it with anyone else, we just produce what is ours.
Once the cherries are ready for harvesting, they are picked, washed, dried and milled before being auctioned by the millers and exported to various countries like Germany, the US and China. As of January this year, top exporters of coffee globally included Brazil, Vietnam, Colombia, Indonesia and Ethiopia. When it comes to the East African community, Uganda is at the helm. In Kenya, export of coffee can either be done by growers, marketers or coffee dealers. Grower marketers export through direct sales where they negotiate prices directly with the buyer, while coffee dealers export through the Nairobi Coffee Exchange auction where they buy coffee from marketing agents who sell coffee on behalf of the smallholder growers. This is according to InfoTrade Kenya.
The government has allowed us to actually grow and market our own coffee. We harvest in April and we harvest in November. So in April we'll call that early crop. It's basically where we get our bounty. It's where we get our quantity. Yeah? So a farm like ours can produce in April to June around about 100 to 120 tons, okay, of coffee. And then in November we can produce, give or take, 50 tons. Yeah? So on average our farm can and will produce 150 tons of coffee every year consistently.
Currently, the auction price of coffee in the country is approximately $5 per kilogram, which translates to about 540 Kenya shillings. With such numbers, it is understandable why Karunguru Coffee have been at it for over 90 years now.
Farming is also something we can also take with pride, okay, and do it because at the end of the day, what does the country really require as it grows? Food. So we are currently looking into those markets that will allow other farmers to come back, so to speak, and to take pride in their coffee.
And that's Kenya to the world. My name is Michael Zimanji.
With that, we take a short break. When we return,
Mirembe.
US-based founder of an online shopping company that is known as Vitumob, Matthew Meyer, tells us why he is in love with Kenyan languages. Also ahead, the last leg of Turkana experience on My Magical Kenya segment.
Are you looking to study abroad? Options Education Agency is here for you. With over a decade of experience in applications to reputable Australian and UK universities, we take pride in our services, professional counseling, visa applications, airport pickups and accommodation arrangements. Visit our offices in Nairobi, the Mall Westlands first floor, or call us on 0724 333 222. Options Education Agency, where your journey begins.
Matthew Meyer, the county executive of Newcastle in the US and the founder of an online shopping company that is known as Vitumob, has an amazing grasp of Kenyan languages. I met him on the streets of New York some time back and posted my interaction with him on our online platform. But today, we bring you that interaction on this platform, Daring Abroad, due to public demand. Tuambie tu tena asili yako vizuri, ulizaliwa wapi na ulikuja Nairobi namna gani?
Nilizaliwa Michigan, nikakuwa jimbo la Delaware, na halafu nilienda university huko kwetu US, na nilikuwa na nafasi ya kwenda Kenya kwa muda miezi 4 kusoma University of Nairobi. Nilienda University of Nairobi kwa muda miezi 4 na nikapenda kabisa. Wakenya wako wazuri. Nilikuwa na miaka 20 na nilijifunza kila kitu ya Kenya. Na nilikuwa nimependa vyakula vya Kenya sana, ugali, chapati, hata mchele kidogo, na nikarudi kuishi kwa muda mwaka moja. Nilikuwa nimeishi Buru, number 58, karibu na Wab Hotel, karibu na tents, nyuma ya shopping, na nilikuwa nimefanya kazi kila siku Dandora, Korogocho, na Ndugu Society of Kenya, kusaidia vijana, wamama, wachokora, wale wanataka kusaidiwa.
Matatu number 58.
58 hata 23. Yeah, 23 kama unataka kupitia outer ring. Yeah. Na kila siku nilikuwa nimeamka asubuhi, nilipanda nadhani ilikuwa 36 ya kwenda kutoka Buru ya kufika Dandora.
Nani alikufundisha Kiswahili?
Nilifundishwa na Wakenya wengi. Hata labda moja ananiangalia saa hii na alikuwa mwalimu yangu. Kwa sababu Wakenya, kama wewe ni mgeni Kenya, unaenda Kenya na ukisimama ndani ya hoteli na ukisema mimi nataka kujua Kiswahili, watu wote wanataka kufundisha.
Ni nani huyo mmoja ambaye unaweza kukumbuka alikufundisha? Anakutazama pengine.
Mwanamke mmoja anaitwa Winnie Kivutha. Winnie Kivutha ni mwalimu wa Swahili. Poa sana, ametoka pwani, anajua ile sanifu.
Sasa Vitumob, sasa tuambie ulianzisha vipi na inahusu nini? Kampuni yako ya Vitumob. Vitumob tunataka kila mtu katika Kenya, kila mtu wale wanaishi Kenya wanapata nafasi ya kununua kila kitu ya dunia na wanaweza kupata kila kitu wanaona kwa simu ama kwa internet, wanaweza kupata kwa nyumba yao baada ya siku 7 hivi, siku 8 hivi kwa nyumba ya. Hiyo ni, that's the mission of Vitumob. Nini ilikufanya ukaita Vitumob?
Tulikuwa tumetaka jina ya Nairobi.
Jina la Nairobi. But apart from Kiswahili, unaongea lugha nyingine za Kenya?
Ya Kenya?
Kikuyu kidogo.
Kikuyu, aterere, todhi, tarari tao, mirembe.
Mono. Kiluya pia unajua, Kimaragoli, murembe.
Mirembe mono.
Mono.
Inkieke, kisi, inkiese, nekoseo.
Nekoseo, Kikamba.
Sobabi, kata somash, nasikienja.
Asante sana.
Kidogo. Ate,
chamge. Njema. Asante. Tutakuja Delaware kukutembelea.
Karibuni wote Delaware.
Na huko nafikiri tutapata Vitumob.
Sindio. Asante.
Bye.
Okay.
Interesting. And by the way, before I engaged Matthew in that conversation, he had overheard my cameraman and I speaking about him in Kiswahili language. And he yelled, "Habari zenu, mnanisengenya?" Well, that tells you that you could be speaking about people on the streets in some part of the world in a language that you may be thinking they are not understanding, but they could just be getting everything. Allow me to shift gears now onto Kenya, and here is my last leg of the Turkana experience on my Magical Kenya segment. Culture is one of the 5 pillars of Turkana County's tourism. That is why the county hosts an annual cultural festival that is known as Tobonglore, meaning come back home. The county is one of the few remaining places in Africa where you can witness a traditional culture of such beauty and integrity. Any place you visit has its own souvenirs worth carrying away. In Lodwar town, your journey would be incomplete without passing through this basket market to just get a feel of how these local skills are connected to tourism and adventure. Very nice. Hii inaweza kubeba hata matunda vizuri. I had a chance to sample the products and purchase some. The baskets are made from dried leaves of desert palm trees.
Kwa Kiturkana angol. Alafu erangi. Alafu kwa Kiswahili makoma.
The products go far and beyond.
Watu ya Kenya ndio wanakujanga kutusaidia kutoka Saudi Arabia, kutoka Sudan, kutoka Moroto. anatusaidianga kununua. Watalii pia wanakujanga, wasungu kutoka nje ndio anatunulia vitu. Kitu kama hii 200, hii kikapu ndogo 500. Sasa tunapata pesa ambayo tunapeleka nayo watoto shule.
Turkana actually has 5 main product categories. We have archaeology, we have culture, we have wellness, and then we have nature and wildlife. For archaeology, other than the discoveries of mankind, Turkana actually is leading in research. The other thing we do, we have archaeological sites like Morwana Yeche, we have Namortunga, which stands for the standing stones. We have the oldest stone tools, and we also have graves dating to millions of years ago. The water in Lake Turkana is a bit saline, and it's actually good for your skin. If you have any skin ailments, this is water clears the skin ailments.
And a bird's eye view can come in handy in order to appreciate Turkana's nature. At some point, we overfly Lodwar town from end to end, crossing rivers. This is River Takwel. We also overflew Kakuma town. It is located about 120 kilometers by road from Lodwar. Tourism is a county government function, and Turkana County wants holidaymakers to consider this region.
If Kenya wants to move away from the maximum levels now they're reaching of international tourism of 2 million, if Kenya wants to move away from its traditional focus on the coast and Masai Mara as the only continued attraction every year for tourism, then the opportunity is in northern Kenya, and no doubt the opportunity is going to be around the areas of Lake Turkana and the Turkana culture, plus all the other traditional cultural communities that live in the neighborhood of Turkana.
Many leaders who hail from this county, including Mining and Petroleum Cabinet Secretary John Munyes, are of the same view.
There's huge potential, tremendous potential in Turkana. And when I talk of Turkana, Turkana is connected to the lake-to-lake circuit, starting with Lake Victoria, with Oma Bay, with all those beaches. Drive down to Kakamega, you see the rainforest, and enjoy Mount Elgon, and gradually descend to the national parks, the game reserve in Turkana South and Nasolot, to Lake Turkana.
Later, we get a chance to take to the skies again, this time with the Cabinet Secretary. More beauty, more magical experience as we conclude our tour of this amazing county. With that, we wrap up today's episode of Daring Abroad. And remember, you can sponsor Daring Abroad. You can advertise with us. For more details, get in touch with us through the contact numbers on your screen. That is it. On behalf of the entire Chams Media team, many thanks for watching.